Thank you to all of the men who led us this evening, and thank you everyone for singing out. And we are always grateful for the first Sunday night of the month and giving us this opportunity and allowing different ones to come and lead us in song, and from our ones who need the stool to stand on and all others. And that's wonderful to have this opportunity. There are sermons that you have probably said, I wish everyone in the church could have heard that sermon. You have probably already thought of one or two since I said that. For me, I think about Wendell Winkler, the judgment bar of God. I wish everyone could hear that sermon. I think about Wade Webster, raising G-rated children in an R-rated world. I wish everyone could hear that sermon. I think about Lonnie Jones and not conquering your mountain, but working with it to reach the top. I wish everyone could hear that sermon. I think about Dan Winkler and his first public sermon at Freed Hardeman following the murder of his son, and using the book of Psalms to talk about trust in God. I wish everyone could hear that sermon. I think about Tex Williams at Freed Hardeman, allegiance to the Word. I wish everyone could hear that sermon. I think about David Shannon, a series of 4 lessons, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. To this day, the most challenging series of lessons I have ever heard. I wish everyone could hear them. I think about from this pulpit, Ted Burleson and the study of the book of Hosea. I wish we could all hear it. That's just some that stand out for me. I said that because from time to time, it's not what you hear, but it is what you read. And I do not usually read someone else's work or outline when I'm teaching or preaching, but this one, I just have to. I will not read it all, but I want to for 2 reasons. One, to tell you, share with you how I, for a long time, have neglected growing opportunities in the Word and in my faith. I receive bulletins and publications from Brotherhood Works, and a pile will stack up. Now I'll have to move that pile somewhere else where Ashley can't see it. And then I'll have to hide the next pile somewhere else. And then the next somewhere else. And for a long time, that's the way it was. I'm going to read it. I'm going to get back to it, but I never would. Finally, this year, I said, I'm going to start reading some of these. And I have some that dates back 40, 50, and 60 years ago that people have given to me. And I've finally started reading through these, and it has helped me so much to read what others have taken the time to study and put together. So that is one reason I want to share tonight's Devo with you. But the second reason is because when I read this a few weeks ago, this article, it just really hit me in a way unlike many articles do. It was written by Alan Webster and it appeared in House to House, Heart to Heart. As a matter of fact, as soon as I finished it, I sent Alan a text and thanked him for this work. My plans were to make copies of it and provide it for you, and I still will, especially if you want one, you can let me know. But I thought, why not read it also? I'm not going to read all of it. I'm going to skip around, but I want to get to the main points of it. It's titled, Don't Play with Sin. It's about the life of David and his sin with Bathsheba. And like raising children, G-rated children, I'm going to try to make it G-rated a little, so you'll notice from time to time that changing of words. Sin is no plaything. First, we toy with sin, then sin toys with us. To begin with, we play master and it plays slave. Then we switch and it does not want to take turns anymore. Ask David. His sin started as a peeping Tom watching his neighbor take her bath. in 2 Samuel chapter 11. He looked, lusted, sent for her, and slept with her. That was about as long as he had planned to stay in the far country, a one-night excursion. Unfortunately, David found out that when he was through with sin, sin was not through with him. A few weeks later, he received an unwelcome note. It must have been tightly sealed with "King's eyes only" on the envelope. It was probably spotted and smeared with tears. He opened it to read the 4 words he must have secretly dreaded ever since another man's wife got out of his bed. "I am with child." 2 Samuel chapter 11 and verse 5. He was back on board the sin train, and it was going to keep him much longer than he wanted to stay. You know the downward spiral his life took from there. The rest of David's years read like a plot out of a daytime television. Sin was about to take him for a long ride. I thought about that comment. The rest of David's years read like a plot out of daytime television. And I thought, how many of us will see this exact thing play out and laugh at it because it's on television, when really it's ruining our world? We know David's sin, but any sin could apply here. Ask David how far sin will take you as he lies for a week in the dirt, begging for the life of a dying baby. Ask him at 3 a.m. on the 7th day when he has not eaten or been to his bed. Ask him again as he walks from the burial. Ask him again later when he learns that his daughter has been taken advantage of while on an errand in which he sent her. Ask him again when he finds out that one of his sons did it. Put yourself in the father's place when King David heard of all these things. Ask him again when the message comes that his son has just been murdered because David sent him into harm's way. Ask him again when he finds out that another son is the murderer. Ask him again when he does not see his son's face for 5 years. Ask him again when he flees his palace one night, barefoot and weeping, because his son is trying to kill him and take the kingdom. Ask him again as he ducks flying rocks and flinches from cursing insults. Ask him again when he, along with all Israel, hears that his son is been with 10 of his concubines in a tent on top of the king's palace. Ask him again when his close friend betrays him and wants an opportunity to murder him. Ask him again between his sobs as he grieves the beloved son who is swinging from an oak by his head with 3 darts through his heart. And all of that can be found between 2 Samuel chapter 11 and chapter 18. When I read that, I thought, wow, that one look opened the door to the events for the rest of David's life. Sin truly is nothing to play with. Thankfully, with God, we can get forgiveness of sins. Now, we might continue to suffer some consequences in this lifetime. That's true. But here's the thing, as we get ready to sing this song, none of us have to suffer the consequences of sin in eternity. Because of God, His love, we can have forgiveness and we can go to heaven. We'd love to help you to go to heaven. If there's something that we can do to help you to make a change in your life, to have your sins washed away in baptism as a believer repenting, or to come back and have your sins, where as a baptized believer, we can pray with you and for you. We'd love to help you. If it would be your desire, please come as we stand and as we sing.